Hey everyone, happy Wednesday and welcome to another edition of Trap Chat Live. Yes, we are laughing because I forgot to go live. We were having
I'm glad
such
it
a
didn't
good
go live
time.
on us. I'm glad
Yeah,
it didn't go live on us.
we were having such a good time backstage. So I'm just going to jump right in because I've had you guys wait probably 20 seconds or so, 30 seconds, which is a lot in live time. But I am so excited to be joined by my dear friend, Wendy Dailey. She comes. She's coming to us from a bunker with Captain America, as you can see, out in Brookings, South Dakota. She is a podcast host. I'm sure you guys have heard of this thing called HR Social Hour, maybe, perhaps. But if you haven't, then you don't know HR. So get into it. She's also, oh, this is my favorite part, and we're going to talk about this sometime at some point in the show. The owner of an artisan ice cream company called Dailey Scoops. Ooh. She is a pumpkin lover. We may not finish the show if I don't get to convert her to the sweet potato side of the dessert uh, tray. But also, let's see what else. Oh, HR content writer at Mineral currently, and one of my favorite Gen X recruiters, Wendy. Hi.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. So happy we can do this. I think it needs to be an annual holiday tradition that we kick
Yes,
off December together.
I agree. And I see you have your sweater on.
I do.
If I had known, I would have worn one of my holiday sweaters, but I'm trying to do a better job of like wearing my own stuff.
Yeah,
So I have on my "You're a recruiter, can you get me a job" shirt, and
I
the
love that.
answer is still sometimes. That has not changed. Sometimes. Um, so we said we were going to talk about some things that both of us know a lot about, but I did want to get your perspective. And actually, we talked about this I think in 2020.
Probably.
Me, you, Josh Rock, and
Oh, yeah.
Tiffany
Yes, we did.
Toussaint were on a webinar together, I believe, and we were talking about layoffs as it
Mhm.
because it was the beginning of COVID.
Yeah, oh
Yeah,
gosh, that's like a lifetime ago.
and
I
we
think
were all like, yeah.
we were doing it for social hour because
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted to talk about in that set time, because we were going through a recession,
Yeah.
is how we had gone through so many other recessions. As Gen Xers, we've
Yes.
been through a lot of recessions, let's be honest on
Yes.
that. And it's but it's different. I mean, the last recessions, 20 2001, 2008, 2009, there was a lot of just go back to the way things were, and now
Yeah.
we're not.
Do
And
you feel
so
that way? So I kind of feel like people are pushing to go back to how it used to be. Are you
there
feeling that too?
yeah, I'm seeing that, and I hate to say it's, as, like, Gen Xers, I don't like to do the whole
Hey,
generation
boomer. No,
stuff,
I think it's the boomers,
but the boomers, they have not retired yet.
right?
We were told, "Wait your turn. The
Mm.
boomers are gonna retire. You're gonna get to move up, blah, blah, blah." And they're still working.
Hmm.
My dad is still working.
No.
75, he's still working.
Oh
And
wow.
it's one of those that the younger generations, and I blame the internet, I blame social
Okay.
media or praise it because they're
Okay.
learning they're not alone, and I think a lot of where
Mm.
when we came up in work going to work in the 80s and 90s, we didn't know other people were going through the same stuff we were.
Yes.
And so now you can go out into the netherworlds and you see, oh, there's people across the nation, across the world who are going through the same stuff. Why? Why are we putting up with it? Why are we putting up with bad managers and you can't go anywhere else. What are you going to do? Go find another job? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go work at Walmart for a little bit because they're going to pay me $19 an hour to work overnight and I'm going to have zero of this stress. Why
Mm.
why would I put up with BS when I can go do that while I try and find something else? Because there's also there's still some of the old school stuff, but I think a lot of that is is going away, because there's people like you and me, there's that are like, yeah, you're right. We shouldn't have to put up with this. So let's start changing it now.
Yeah, and I love that. I took part of what you said. They know they're not alone. And that's the thing. And I think that was something that we, and I mean non, new to the workplace
Yeah.
folks,
Yeah.
we'll call it that. Your geriatric Xers and millennials. Like at this point, I'm a geriatric recruiter. Like
Oh, yeah.
really.
Oh, go get the hair color.
I'm like the last one. It's like Jurassic Park out here. I'm sorry, but yeah, when that was one of the first things that clicked with me when everyone came, into my office because I was already working remotely,
Mhm.
so like that was one of the first things. Like I'm not alone,
Yeah.
and that people were talking, and yeah, we were getting together on Zooms, and then we overdid that because we're going to, and then we got Zoom fatigue and we got meeting fatigue and we didn't want to talk to each other anymore. We didn't want to see each other anymore. We wanted a break. But I think we're in this cycle, and I'm hoping, and I'm still hoping because I was like, I hope that this is the thing that actually does make that
Yeah.
shift. And what you just pointed out, that the younger workers take the lead on
Mhm.
changing these narratives. But and maybe it's the seasonal effect. What they call it, seasonal affected
Disorder.
disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
the
is.
SADS. Maybe the SADS and, the gloominess of the weather and things are have me a little bit pessimistic, but I just feel like it's slipping back to 2005. I really do.
I see a lot of that, and I think one, yeah, it's that time of year where we're all just kinda like, "Oh, I'm done. I'm
Yes.
just done. I don't wanna fight anymore. I don't wanna go down that road anymore." But I think there's enough momentum
Mhm.
that I'm hoping there's enough momentum that we don't slide back into whatever
Mhm.
the business needs, because, we've been saying it for a long time. If we take care of the people, they will take care of the
Mm.
business. We don't have to worry about, um, forcing someone to be loyal, because if you're gonna take care of them, you will, um, you'll take care of the business. And
Yeah,
I see that where I am right now. I was on a
right.
a meeting, last week, and one of the guys on it, we were talking about the company, and we were having like a lunch with the CEO type of meeting, and one of the guys said, um, Mineral has almost a maniacal need to
Mm.
keep their employees happy.
Oh.
And it was just interesting. I was like, I hadn't thought of using the word maniacal in that way, but it's true, is that let's take care of our employees. Let's make sure that they're connected, and we're remote first, but I know more people in the Mineral organization than I did at my last organization, where
Oh.
we went into the office every day. I feel like I know more people remotely than I did going into an office every single day. 'Cause
That
we
that's interesting to me. And I want to say this as someone who went the opposite way.
uh, yeah.
Like so I have felt myself missing the camaraderie, like I call all you guys, my HR crew, like I call
Yeah,
you guys my coworkers, like you're my
yeah,
you guys are, you're my co-collaborators, my partners, when I need something I could pick up the phone or I could text or,
mhm,
shoot a DM. So, there's that, but like not being able to like outside, I mean the people that I actually work with,
right.
like go or have someone come into my office or walk down the hall or walk to another building, when I worked on a campus. um just that I miss that part of it. Yeah, I really do.
There's something to be said to be able to walk down the hallway and see somebody and have a conversation with them.
Hmm.
Um, but as I was thinking about it and looking at it, like those were, and not that all my interactions with people that I work with now are super deep, but
Right.
there was it was a weird superficialness to me. When you're walking around those open plan cubicles, which I hated with a passion, and listening to everyone else's conversations, and then, oh, somebody's getting up and somebody's walking around, and it was artificial.
Okay.
To me.
I can see that. I just feel like, I'm always on the other side of every argument. I'm always like, but, like, and that it's always like the conversation about, whether it be about cover letters, I'm probably the only person who doesn't have a maniacal hate for cover letters. Shout out Adam Karbiak.
Right.
Or, the whole, I don't come to work to make friends. No, I don't go to work to make friends, but some of my friends I made at work. And they're like, those are my people,
Well, I think there's those office friendships that they are important. They are important. And maybe it was me because I was commuting and I was tired, that adds a lot to it. But I didn't have, the older I get, as we're talking about getting older here, it's not as easy. And so the remoteness kind of gives you the ability to do those friendships on your own terms too.
Right.
And,
I like that.
Out and, scheduling time to talk to somebody. I kind of like that. I do not miss phone calls.
No. So, yeah. So, okay. So you're HR content writer now, and we're going to get into that. Okay. So thank you, Minyard, who is
Christina,
my very best coworker. She is with me on the cover letters. Like, why do y'all hate them so much? You act like they're like the earwax jelly bean from Harry Potter. Like, what is wrong with y'all?
Hey, cover letters have their place. They do. I totally agree. I don't expect the person applying for housekeeping to have one.
No.
But if you're applying for an accountant or CEO, you should probably have a cover letter.
We'll see. All right. So we were supposed to be talking about like what it's like, because I need people to understand like what it's like being a recruiter during these times of upheaval. And we're in another one now. So the holiday season is a little special for us. It's like tax time for accountants, and I'm not exaggerating. Literally, the year ended for us, if not the Friday after the people who celebrated Thanksgiving, then the week before that, like it was a wrap in terms of getting people to respond to you, getting hiring managers to push any buttons that weren't already in motion, or not backpedaling or not slowing down the speed of things to get us to the new year. Like, or on the other hand, those folks who want to speed things up to make their numbers.
Hurry up. Yeah.
So, do you miss that?
I don't. I enjoyed talking to candidates. I enjoyed working with my hiring managers, but this time of year, everyone, it's slow. It's slow for recruiting. Yeah. No, it is not. It's different.
Yes.
But it's not slower. It's actually, I don't miss the headache of the end of the year, because as a recruiter, you're trying to still fill those roles. And, sometimes you have hiring managers, well, I don't know if I'm actually going to fill that one or not. Maybe we should wait. Well, maybe we should have this conversation 2 months ago when you said you needed it. Just because you can't find your purple squirrel unicorn now, which we won't get into that. Well, maybe we will get into that. But
I mean, this is an open forum.
Yeah. Just figuring that out. And I know since Christina's listening, we've all gone round on those of having, you go through it and you go through your process and you talk with your hiring manager about what they want. And then 2 months later, like, what do I want? Okay, so and I never was in a position where I can say, you know what, we're just not going to recruit for this then until you figure out what you want. I was always that, okay, well, we need to fill this, or you need to close it, or you need to tell me what you want to do. And then you've got your hiring your recruiting manager is like, well, you need to respond to all these people within 24 business hours and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, this is not productive. This is not adding to anyone's good experience of this process by stressing out your recruiters, who are the ones really controlling your process and making sure everything runs smoothly. So let your recruiters do that. Give them that power, that authority to be able to say, all right, hiring manager, we're not going to hire this position then. We're going to put it on hold. You let me know when you're ready.
I love that. And I wish more people did that, said that, and really stuck to it. Because they'll say that, to the recruiting team,
right.
And then they'll go into a meeting with the business and be like, well, I had a conversation, but you do it then. Okay. Yeah. You deal with it. Cause I don't have the energy, but yeah, we've got the holiday season where we still have to be, like you said, not slowed down. We still have to be active and aware and alert for all things. And like we always say, we've got job seekers who are doing it to us too. Job seekers I think job seekers ghost more during the holiday season. And they play a lot more games. And I'm not saying that the games are not fun, but or not necessary.
Right.
But I think that things get a little sticky during this time, especially for folks who are trying to wait for their bonuses, or who think, oh, maybe I can get a sign-on bonus from this company so I can buy more gifts. Or the folks who accept your offer, they'd be like, oh, I forgot to mention that I am going on a 2-week vacation on February 2nd, and I know I start on January 31st, but
and I'm gonna need that paid, okay?
Right. So accruing time, like, can I do this job while I'm still doing my other job so that I can I mean, shout out to you for asking, because
more
there's
power.
only 2 answers, yes and no. But yeah, like, I don't think that we get enough credit for dealing with that stuff.
Oh gosh, no, we don't. Yeah, because it's I saw you popped up Torrens.
Yeah, so too many hiring managers use a historic approach to curating the job descriptions once, rather than a visionary.
Well, and I was thinking about that earlier too, because it's really, we take the job description and we just throw it out there. Don't give our recruiters the tools or the training to be able to turn that job description into a posting. We just expect, I always compare it to, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is not putting out their ingredient list when they're advertising Coca-Cola.
Right.
Why do we think that's going to work for recruitment? And again, I know marketing jobs and marketing a product are 2 different things. I understand, but there's a lot of similarities in there that when you're looking for that. But I think I love what Torrin's saying here, is because we're just looking for, well, this is what we've always done. We're just going to I'm going to tell you, here's the purple squirrel unicorn I want. You just go out and find it, rather than having that conversation about, do you need an experienced person? Can you train somebody? How much training are they going to need? Because I'm sorry, nobody can hit the ground running. When they start, they don't even know where the bathroom is. They can't hit the ground running. Stop it.
And they're getting ready for a vacation.
They're getting ready for Christmas is coming. There are, but I think I saw, and this includes all those little fun, not real holidays, but there's like 71 holidays between Thanksgiving and the 1st of January.
Really?
There's we've got Hanukkah, we've got Christmas, we've got Kwanzaa, we've got New Year's, I think there's like National Llama Day and Donut Day and Cookie Day, and
there was a Socks Day. I saw that. There was some National Socks Day.
Yeah.
When is Wine Day?
Every day is Wine Day.
Oh, okay. I didn't know, because I'm drinking tea, but now that I know, when we're done, I'm turning it into Wine Day.
Every day should be Wine Day or Beer Day or whatever Bourbon Day, whatever you choose to imbibe in.
Ooh.
Or if you don't choose to imbibe and you just want to have your fizzy water
Or your ice cream.
or your ice cream. Always
Yes.
ice cream.
We've got a few more things before we get to ice cream. So the other thing,
Yeah.
and again, I'm trying to show some love and I'm trying to give some love in this season to recruiters and to job seekers who have to deal with us. Because I need you guys to understand the things that we're going through. So more layoffs, more layoffs. Yeah. Saw in Forbes yesterday, companies like not just in tech, but like Gannett, PepsiCo, you just mentioned Coca-Cola, but
Yeah.
PepsiCo is laying off hundreds of people at their headquarters in Chicago. Morgan Stanley, CNN, H&M, DoorDash, Roku, and like some of these are not big numbers. Like for example, Morgan Stanley's laying off 1,600 people, and I know that people are going to say, "Well, one person is too many," especially during this time of year.
Right.
However, when you think about the number of people that Morgan Stanley employs, that percentage is lower. But when you're saying someone at like BuzzFeed is laying off 12% of their staff, they're laying off 180 people, which again, it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 12%. Or then here's my favorite one, Roku laying off 7% of their workforce.
Wow.
But guess why?
Why?
Not for headcount, for positions, because they want to enhance their leadership numbers.
Jeez. Okay, well, we need shots after that. But
right. So here's my point in pointing this out. How do recruiters recruit or convince people to come and work for their company when they're going through something like that?
That's the hard one, quite honestly, because it sucks to get laid off.
It does.
It just does. I've been there, and it was a long time ago, and I've worked for a lot of organizations now that they're like, we're going to do everything possible to not have a layoff. And we don't hear those conversations that may or may not be happening in some of those organizations, but I always wonder, is this your first thing to save money, that, we're just going to lay off people? Or, because we want to be able to give our leaders bigger bonuses. So we're going to lay off people so it looks like they are doing a great job.
Yeah.
When that's the worst reason in the world to lay somebody off, because you want your leaders to get a bigger bonus. So you're sending someone home with little to no severance, probably, to go figure out unemployment, and unemployment is going to be backed up. And this is the weirdest. The last 2 years have been just such a weird time for recruitment anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's all changed. It's you used to be able to look at the economy and say, oh, well, this is why.
Right.
I don't see those same things that we've seen in the past. 2005 and 2009 and 2010, you just don't see the same things economically that you would expect. You hear about it. I don't know about where you are, but gas prices are dropping here. So
they're still pretty well. So you can't go by me, because no. So I don't drive very much.
Yeah.
And I know people are going to say that, like, let me put this in context. So I get oil changes only because of the months, not because I have reached the miles. Like,
yeah,
especially when people were, mostly quarantined, I'll say.
Sure.
Like, it took me months to go 1,000 miles. Months.
I don't drive as much as I used to, obviously, since I'm not commuting anymore. But
right.
But I'm not seeing the same signs of a recession that we're familiar with, that I'm familiar with.
No, because food costs too much. Listen, no, food costs too much for me.
Oh my God, yeah. I went to try and buy eggs, and I was like, is there still the bird flu going on? Because there's like there were no eggs. I'm like, I don't quite understand Walmart. How come you don't have eggs?
You're like, if I cook the bird flu eggs, does that kill it or no?
Does that kill the flu? I'm not gonna eat them raw. I don't know what's
Right.
happening here.
Give me the bird flu eggs, please, if they're cheaper. we
I don't know what's
we
happening.
shouldn't be. We're not. We need a intermediary because when we get together, it's
We just go off on tangents. But again, it's like it's just a different time. And so
yeah.
I think for, when someone gets laid off, there's all sorts of platitudes. I personally I don't know what to say to somebody because it's hard and it's how you're going to react to it is going to be different. But
Hmm.
I think too, knowing that there's still a lot of jobs out there too.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of job openings. And part of that is because, a lot of people are no longer working because of COVID, for a wide variety of reasons. But there's still opportunities out there. And so I think too, it just goes back to, and we've been saying this for a long time as recruiters, is it's not necessarily that people don't want to work. It's just we don't have the right skills. We're not skilling people. We're not training them
Mm,
to the right jobs. And I think we're doing a little bit better job of getting a wider variety of opportunities for young people today. For a long time, you and I you have to go get a bachelor's degree. You
mm.
have to. And then for a long time, get into coding. Everyone should be a coder. Well, not everyone. No, not everyone should be a coder. There's lots of other jobs out there. Or go be a
Right.
nurse. Here are these 2 jobs that everyone should do. Well, guess what? Now hospitals can't find respiratory therapists or occupational therapists or physical
Wow.
therapists or lab people because everyone went to be a nurse. Um,
Sheesh.
but I think we're getting better at having a wider variety of options. I know with my daughter who's a junior in high school, some of the things
Right.
that she's seeing and getting from different schools, I'm like, okay, we're seeing a wider variety of things than when I was headed to school, back in the Stone Ages. Um, and even as throughout my recruiting career with what I've seen from different colleges and different schools is that we're seeing that wider variety. There's less stigma on someone going to a 2-year
Yes.
program or going into the trades
Yes.
because, dude, you go be an electrician, you're going to go to school for 2 years and come out making $35 an hour. Go into imaging.
I'm trying to think of how long it took me to make the equivalent of $35 an hour.
Oh, it took a long time.
It wasn't right out of school, trust me.
Mm-mm. No. And I
So
was under the impression, and this is naive, Wendy. I was under the impression you went and got a degree, and people are going to line up to give you a job.
no,
No.
no, no, no. We were lining up at a job fair to get a job. You heard line, but you didn't hear it in the right order. Like we
It
used to
was not
call
in the right order that I heard about this, but it was like, oh no, go get your degree and it's going to be automatic. You'll get a job and you'll get a bigger paying job. I'm like, why am I working retail for 2 years while I'm trying to
yeah.
find a job that I can do that I want to do with this degree that am going to be paying off for 20 years.
Okay. I love it. All right. So Josh Rock is giving you some recruiter advice. Go into imaging.
Oh,
Um,
that's true. We need it. We
he
need
also
radiators.
says be a diesel tech and I can hire you. Okay. There you
Okay.
go.
Except I don't like the smell of diesel, Josh, and I don't want to smell like diesel all the time. So,
All right. And then Christina's going back to our layoff
okay.
conversation. Okay,
Yes.
well, it's a little easier if you're recruiting for positions that are different than the ones the org laid off. Hopefully, you can explain the restructuring of the organization is creating different opportunities that support the need for ongoing recruiting. I tend to be overly honest with candidates and tell them whatever I know about the behind the scenes and what's really going on. If I don't believe the org made a good decision in the layoffs and strategy going forward, I'm gonna leave. Ooh,
Yeah. No,
that's
I agree with that.
excellent advice.
Yeah.
And you know how everyone that I can see that I know of that's chiming in, we all favor honesty
Yes.
when it comes to recruiting.
And
But
I think that's why some of us have been better at it than others is we're more upfront with the
yeah,
candidates and getting them in. And, you know, I could talk candidates into taking a slightly lower rate that they wanted because they knew I was upfront and being honest with them, and I was
Right.
do it from the very beginning, as opposed to, waiting till the end and then playing the used car salesman game.
Right. Okay. So you talked about career transitions and
Yeah.
learning new things for other people, but here recently, what was it, August?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
August.
just a few months ago.
Yep.
So, August, you transitioned away from the recruiting part
Mhm.
of talent acquisition, and you are now an HR content writer at Mineral.
Yes.
So, um, again, season of giving, what advice do you have for other recruiters who know they have a desire, or even any job seeker who knows they have a desire to move into either an adjacent or even something completely different into a new role? What advice do you have for them?
Uh, yeah. Lots of platitudes. No. It's it's not as easy as you think it's gonna be to make a transition out, because the way the job market has been for so long, we haven't made it easy to transition out. It's pretty much been, um and I fell into this for a long time because I was like, "Oh, you have to move up, and I'm gonna move up in HR, and I'm gonna be a supervisor, I'm gonna be a director, blah, blah, blah." I couldn't get interviews for
Mm,
manager jobs, and the feedback I got was, "Well, you've never been a manager."
hmm.
How can I Okay, tell me, how can I show you that I have the skill set to
Right.
manage? And then I finally came to a place where it's like, I was following that because that's what I was told you were supposed to do. I don't really want to be a manager. I don't want to manage people. I don't want to be a supervisor. I don't want to
Right.
do evaluations. I no, I don't want to do any of that. And I'm actually kind of lucky here because I started writing about HR a few years ago.
Okay.
So I was doing that as kind of a side gig.
Right.
Some of it was paid, some of it was unpaid, some was just like I've always enjoyed writing. When I was little, I wanted to be Laura Ingalls Wilder and write stories. When I grew up,
Oh,
that was my dream back then.
like Little House on the Prairie and
Yeah,
everything. Okay.
but I was always told you can't make money doing that. So I
Mm.
kind of I was a good kid. I did what I was told and followed those right paths. Um, so when the internet comes along and you can just start writing for people to read on these things called blogs,
Yes.
I started doing it, and I kind of went through a couple different transitions, and then uh when I moved back to South Dakota, I really kind of started doing it a little bit more in earnest and actually writing about HR stuff, and kind of figured out, oh, people actually want to listen and read what I have to say. That's interesting. Um, and so I've been doing that. Wow, it's been almost 10 years that we
Nice.
moved back here. So when this opportunity came up to write for real, right, and get paid for it, I knew I had to kind of take the chance at it. And I did reach out to, Vadim Lieberman, who does a lot of
Mhm.
writing. I reached out to Lori Rudiman, just kind of like, hey, just getting some thoughts here, just trying to figure out what I want to do. What's that transition look like? So I think that would be one piece of advice I would give, since we're sitting here talking and listening, is find someone who's done it and gone into the career that you want to go into, and talk to them. What was that really like? What was hard about it? Because as much as it's kind of nice to just write about HR and not actually do it anymore, to quote Vadim, um,
Oh,
I just write about HR. I don't have to do it. I kind of like that piece of it. It was interesting when I was onboarding to Mineral and realizing, oh, I don't have to do all of those onboarding pieces. I'm not, I knew what I needed to do. I mean, I knew all these pieces. I was like, oh, I don't have to go like find them from somebody else. I'm going to, kind of move into letting someone else do that piece of the work. So it's fun
yeah.
to talk to the HR people at Mineral.
Oh. And now onboarding is important.
Yes.
Yes. And
Very
because
much.
you are smiling and writing about it in a favorable way, I'm going to guess that your onboarding was very favorable at
Yes.
Mineral. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yes.
While we're on advice and we're at the halfway mark, and I don't want to take advantage of too much of your time, but I do want to do some holiday stuff. So
Of course.
what is the best advice you never took? And again, this is a holiday gift because it is career advice.
Best advice I never took. Oh, wow. That's a really hard question.
Okay.
But it's because, I think back to, we were just talking about how I was such a good girl and I just, kind of followed the advice that everyone told me. But I think it's been recent. The older I get, the more I'm like, screw you, I'm going to do what I want because
Right.
I'm a grown woman. And some of this I get to decide. And I think, I think that's probably, gosh, yeah, I can't think of any advice that I'm like, I didn't take that. I'm really glad I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about some, like, as you said, learning over as you got more seasoned in your career, more mature and confident in your in owning your agency as a person who is working.
Yes.
What's some career advice for the holidays? Like, what's one thing, like, listen, this is how we used to do it, but this is how it really works.
Oh my God. Take your time. Take time off at the holidays. The work will be there. And recruitment managers, if your recruiters don't get back into the candidates 24 hours or whatever your SLA is, that's okay. It's the holidays because those candidates are probably also not expecting you to return that call on Christmas Day or the day after Christmas or whatever your crazy expectation is.
Right.
Our work doesn't slow down, but it does a little bit because there's different expectations within the holidays from candidates.
Yeah.
Honestly. And as long as your candidates know what to expect, this is my mantra from it. If your candidates know what to expect, they don't care. But if you tell them you're going to get back to them in a week, get back to them in a week. As long as they know, they're not going to bug you every day.
Some will.
Some will. There's a few of them out there. But they're the ones that have been burned too many times by other recruiters saying, we'll get back to you in a week. And then it's 6 months later but somebody, I can't remember who it was, somebody was saying that they got like a no thank you letter 3 years after they applied for a job. Dude, don't send that.
Well, they probably didn't. What they were probably doing was they were probably upgrading a system or transitioning from one system to another, and it was like a clean out.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was. But it's just like, you can turn vendors, you should turn that off.
I hope that's the reason, but
right. Please don't tell me it took you 3 years.
The times we live, I was gonna say, it's like given the times that we live in, that job could very well have been open for 3 years.
It could be. And that's again where it goes back to give your recruiters some power over that to say, you haven't filled this job in 6 months. Let's put it on hold and check again. Let's put it on hold for a few months and then come back to it in like 3 months and let's see if you still need it.
Listen, a job open for 6 months, I am automatically turning into Christina from not Minyard, from Mommy Dearest, and I'm just Jesus.
Yes,
like no. Speaking of movies, you like that transition?
I like that transition. That's a good one.
Now I know your holiday movie is, but I want you to share that one and then maybe your second favorite.
Okay. Well, Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
We have to watch that every year. We put up the Christmas tree. Mm-hmm. I think even the girls can quote it now, which I love.
Nice.
Love that. Second favorite, I go between two.
Okay.
It's both based on the Christmas Carol, A Christmas Carol.
Okay.
So the George C. Scott version, which I absolutely adore that. He is, to me, one of the realest Scrooges, because he's not just a monster.
Yeah.
You know, it's a real Scrooge portrayal. The other one is the Muppet version. Michael Caine playing straight Scrooge, surrounded by Muppets.
Listen, Miss
And
Piggy is
Gonzo
the
as Charles
superior
Dickens.
Muppet. Miss Piggy is a superior Muppet. So I'm with you on that.
For sure. And so, yeah, but to me, and I just kind of realizing this the older I get too, you know, Gonzo there as the lies, Josh. Gonzo as Charles Dickens as the narrator, bringing in so much of that awesome prose that Charles Dickens wrote that you miss in a lot of the other movies, because you don't get to hear those words and how he strung. I mean, Charles Dickens could tell a story and just visualize it. So Die Hard is an awesome movie. I love Die Hard as a movie, not a Christmas movie.
Okay. So I need the folks who are watching, drop in the comments. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. And here's the thing. So I think that is because we're all in the same, you know, generation. Yeah. We're peers. So I think for us, Die Hard, you know, there's a Die Hard Christmas movie, you know, there's enough. But like, I'm going to have to go to like the generation below. And if Die Hard's a Christmas movie, so there's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, and if Die Hard is, then Lethal Weapon 2, Batman 2, Iron Man 3.
Oh.
They all take place at Christmas time.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Harry Potter's a Christmas movie.
Is it Freeform, ABC Family, whichever one it is? There's a channel that's got it going on as a marathon right now.
Okay.
They reference to Christmas.
Okay, so we have broken the code here on Trap Chat Live. If there is any reference to Christmas, we call it a Christmas movie. That comes to you, this sage advice, this wisdom from the Minyard home. It is so. The end. If there's a reference to Christmas, cheers. Hold on.
Get that tea.
We call it a Christmas movie. Okay.
Hey,
what is that? Emmett's Otter Jug Band. What is
this? That's like one of the original Jim Henson Christmas movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't know if it's a movie or a special. Okay. But if we're gonna go down that road, I wonder if Disney Plus has like the original John Denver Muppet Christmas specials. I'm gonna have to go look.
I'm gonna tell you what's not gonna be a classic, even though I watch them. I'm gonna say I hate watch them. All of the like Lifetime and Hallmark movies that are on, like they're all the same movie. Like they're literally all the same movie. They have a
formula. They do.
Even the same, like Lacey Chabert is in every movie. Like how many men is she gonna get? Like, come on.
I want to see. They need to do one in like reverse.
Oh, I like that.
You know, where they leave the small town and go.
What's the song that starts the season for you?
Oh, golly. Christmas Time Is Here, from Charlie Brown Christmas Special. Christmas time is here. Yeah. I bought the piano version, and I have been trying to figure out how to play it.
Nice.
And they like transposed the Vince. I can't think of his last name. Godarly, butchered his last name, but they transposed his piano that he played to written out so that you can like follow along, because I'm not a jazz pianist. And so learning runs and all of this stuff to try and play it just like he did. I can't, but and then my husband has a record player, and so At least once during the season, we will sit downstairs with the Christmas lights, and we'll put the record on the record player of the Charlie Brown Christmas Vince Guidari trio. I just butchered his name, but and just listen to it and look at the lights, and I'm like, oh, thinking back, it just takes me back to like my grandparents' house.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So Karen Parker threw in A Wonderful Life. That's her favorite Christmas movie. And I have, if you were watching last year during the Christmas special, A Trap Chat with the Shark, which went for, I believe, 100 days or so. I don't remember. I just knew like I felt like we were on camera every day, for some reason.
I think you did do like the 12 Days of Christmas or something like that. You did a lot. It was awesome.
A lot. And yeah, shout out to Rich. But yeah, I think I had confessed that I had not seen that movie, but I have since watched it. Okay. But you guys but don't take it from me, because you guys know that I am a self-proclaimed Grinch. And I'm not into, commercial Christmas like that. And anything I can hate watch, I love. But again, Silent Night is by the Temptations specifically. Another
I'm gonna pull that one up, Torin, because I bet that is fantastic.
In My Mind. It starts with In My Mind, and you'll be just listen for In My Mind, and that's how you know. All right, so that's a good one. Are we gonna say the song, the Mariah Carey song, or no? Like,
that's one I hate listen to. And
you do?
And Last Christmas.
What's Wham? I Gave You My Heart. The very next day, you gave it away. This year, so
my 12-year-old loves both of those, and she'll like go into the shower and turn on her music and start singing along with those. And one of these times, I'm going to record her doing it so that I can stop. But
wow, that is some wonderful parent shade, and I love that for you.
Oh,
that was top tier. You're like, I'm going to record it so maybe she'll stop. God,
maybe. Knowing her, she will. She's a preteen. She's a teenager. She might turn it up.
Oh,
she might get louder.
Oh, okay.
I don't know which direction she would go with that.
Well, I need you to do it and report back. All right. So, next question: your favorite holiday tradition?
Oh, I think the one that I can't do without is Santa brings stockings while we're at church on Christmas Eve.
Oh.
So yeah, he brings church. And so this goes way back. Neither one of my parents remember it, but that's one of those half memories that you have from when you're like a little kid. Mm-hmm. And so I remember we were going to church, and it was, snowing, and they got us all in the car, and my dad forgot something in the house. And so he went in the house. We were sitting in the car. He comes back out, and he says, "Girls, look, you can see Santa. He's on the roof. You can see Rudolph if you go look right now." And we're looking out the windows. Oh, yeah, gosh, you must have missed him. So that has kind of turned into me for like, okay, there's been a few years, obviously recently, that we don't go to church on Christmas Eve because last few years you couldn't. So we found other ways to, like, we disappear and then Santa comes. And Santa's so magic. He comes again overnight to leave your actual Christmas present too.
Okay, wait. Josh saying coworker status achieved. Who's that for?
What?
Is he having a conversation with someone else?
Is he having a conversation? Gosh.
Oh, you know what? That might be for you, because he was impressed by your John Denver pull.
Oh, okay.
So I think so. How are you going to be co-workers with Wendy before you're co-workers with me?
He's a little closer physically to where I live, so
true.
But maybe that's
semantics.
Geography.
All right. So, as you know, Christmas music is my not favorite genre. So I do want you to throw in another song, that song that gets you going, or gives you that pick me up during the day.
Oh.
Like you're going to put it on every time and sing
Mm.
like your daughter in the shower.
Oh, golly. What have I been listening to lately? Well, lately it's been Christmas music.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay, so we did have like an Elf the musical, like music on repeat because my oldest was in the musical here in
Okay.
town. We've turned into a musical family. So um I'm gonna say Defying Gravity from Wicked.
Okay.
I will turn that on and do both parts as you can. Obviously,
Oh.
you can't sing 2 notes at the same time. Um, but like get
You're
up.
going to sing it. And do you sound just as good as your daughter or no?
Oh, I sound better.
Oh, challenge. Okay. Challenge.
I'm the singer in the family. No one else in my family sings as much as I do.
I gotta. All right. Somebody, Josh. We gotta test. We gotta figure this out.
Figure out how we do that.
Oh, all right. Christina said there was a glitch on LinkedIn,
Oh man.
and that's probably why the comments were what they were. All right. So last question, and this is the most important one, because it's like part of the reason outside of you being so awesome and me having so much, like you're my girl. But like pumpkin or sweet potato, like we gotta know.
Okay, so true story. Had sweet potato pie for the first time this year.
Okay.
I've never had it before. It's not something that we had growing up.
Right. Right.
When people would put sweet potato casserole on the table at Thanksgiving, I would not eat it. It didn't look good. It just bleh. I started making savory sweet potatoes with bacon and thyme
Okay.
and all of that. So I don't think of sweet potatoes as a sweet dish.
Okay.
But knowing your love of it, I think it was Joey Price had posted about sweet potato pie maybe a year ago. And so I was like, okay, well, send me a recipe. And he's like, okay, well, I get mine at Walmart.
The patty pie. Okay.
So my daughter and I, we were shopping. We were at Walmart, and I saw the pies there. They had all their pies laid out, and they had sweet potato with Patty. I think it was Patty LaBelle's face on it. So I was like, okay, well, Patty wouldn't lie to us about sweet potato pie, would she? Casserole. I didn't say hot dish. So we bought it, brought it home, and my daughter and I both had some, and we liked it. I like it a little bit better. I think I like it better than pumpkin pie.
Okay.
I think I like it a little bit better than pumpkin pie. It was like I want to say like a fuller flavor to it than, I mean, pumpkin's kind of got its note, but the sweet potato, and we love sweet potatoes here. We love the savory sweet potatoes. So having it in that way,
So
and we also
so you've never had candied yams.
no.
Okay, then we have to get you some candied yams. So we got to get you candied yams, and we have to get you a homemade sweet potato pie, not a store, not like a mass-produced sweet potato pie, because it will save your life. Torin wants you to know not to say casserole ever again, as it relates to sweet potatoes. And then, yeah,
hey, Torin grew up in Iowa, not too far from where I am, so he knows how. He
wasn't eating no sweet potato casserole. I can tell you that. Or was he? I'm. You know what? I don't know. A lot of us had some upbringings that there were some things in there,
no one's childhood was perfect, right? We all have.
No one's was, which is why it took you, you didn't have any sweet potato pie in your childhood.
50 years to have sweet potato pie.
Whew, man, that's just wow. I'm sorry.
I have.
All right, so then, but you do make, and I want you to plug Dailey Scoops, because you do make pumpkin ice cream.
I do. I call it pumpkin pie ice cream. So
Pumpkin
I've
pie
got,
ice cream. Okay.
I put the pumpkin, we put all the pumpkin pie spices in there.
Okay.
I haven't, I did debate doing it where I'd put like chop up actual pie and put into it.
That sounds that sounds good. I don't eat ice cream, but that sounds good.
Yeah, so I might, maybe I'll do that with the sweet potato. Maybe I'll figure out how to make a sweet potato pie and chop that up into it to do a sweet potato version. Yeah, so I like 2 years ago started making ice cream with beer as an ingredient.
Nice.
And started with a stout, coffee stout beer, and made a nice
fantastic
chocolate coffee ice cream, and took it to the guys at the bar, and they were like, "You need to sell this."
Oh.
I said, "That sounds like a big old pain in the ass, quite honestly."
But
they kept pushing, and so I looked into it, and Brookings has a commercial kitchen that you can rent, so I didn't have to like build a commercial kitchen. I can rent it out for pretty cheap. So I came up with a bunch of different flavors, trying them out this summer, sold them at the farmer's market, just say, is there a market for this? And then recently took an entrepreneur class because I know nothing about business. That's not my side of it.
Right.
But, learning about, okay, pricing and how do I track what I'm making, and how do I figure out, am I making a profit here? Because, this is the first year. So, you're not going to make a profit in your first year because you have to buy extra stuff. But it was pretty popular. People seem to like it. And so my next step is I'm going to scale down the number of flavors that I do.
Okay.
And I've got 2 local breweries who have said they would work with me on selling it there.
Nice. So you're still doing your signature, your inaugural ice cream. Is that the right word?
Yeah. So
okay.
I've got I call it Boozy Breakfast. It is a bourbon vanilla ice cream that I soak with Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal. You take that cereal out, and it's like the milk at the end of your bowl. So good. And then I've got a couple that I make with the beers, which are really yummy. I do the bar my husband and I go to the most has great sours, so I'll do sherbets with their sours.
Now I can eat that. I would love that too, because I love sherbet and I love sour drinks. So.
Yeah. So those are really good. And yeah, so it's been really interesting to try and figure all that out. It's not, I'm 50 years old, totally reinventing myself. Never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to work for myself, but here we are. And
that's awesome.
It's one of the things that I kind of came away with this entrepreneur class was, what does success look like for me? And I'm like, I just want to have fun with it. So as long as I am having fun and it's paying for itself, we'll do it.
I love that. Well, I hope at some point, we can sample it if I ever get to South Dakota.
There's one here. Yeah. I've been thinking because
in the summer,
yeah. Don't come now. It's like 13 degrees today.
No. Not even with what we talked about earlier. No. It's probably at least 26.
At least 26. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have said 32, so it's at least amazing.
Man, no. All right. So tell the folks where they can follow you, especially if they, is your writing for Mineral? That's like, is there a paywall or?
It goes out to our clients, and there's a lot of different levels of clients.
Okay.
So if you're getting emails from Mineral, you'll get you'll get to see some of my writings. So any Q&As and our monthly newsletter, I write for those, and it's a lot of fun because there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of knowledgeable people that I'm working with. So I absolutely love that. But you can also follow me on Twitter, as long as Twitter's alive.
It's not looking like these.
It's chugging along.
Yeah.
I'm checking out some of the other platforms, but nothing that I'm like, oh yeah, go over this one or that one. I'm kind of like seeing how they go. But LinkedIn as well. You can find me on LinkedIn, Wendy Dailey. Happy to connect there. I'm not as active, but
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm happy to respond. I don't post as much as I used to, but I'm always happy to set up time to chat with people. I love that. I love getting to know people in that way. So,
And don't forget HR House, HR Social Hour.
Check us out. So we are closing down the podcast. We've got 2 episodes left.
Oh wow!
But it's 250 episodes. John figured out we've got like several days of content out there.
Wow.
I think we have, I know it's over 300 actual episodes that are out there. There's 250 numbered episodes. So definitely check it out. Kirsten has been on a couple of times, which is awesome. And lots of great stuff out there. So the catalog is not going anywhere. It's still going to be available for people to check out and listen to.
Okay.
But we also have a Twitter chat.
Yes.
So again, as long as Twitter's around, the 2nd and 4th Sunday of each month, except December.
Okay. So back in January.
Then in January. So this coming Sunday, we will have a chat 7 p.m. Eastern time on Twitter. If you can join us, check out the hashtag HR Social Hour. We are going to take Christmas Day off. Shocking. Yes. I know. How dare we take Christmas Day off? And then we'll be back in January. And we are always looking for people to co-host the chat. So if you have something you want to chat about, help us lead. It's pretty easy. It's a lot of fun. We just need folks to come up with the idea, come up with some questions to put out there, and then join us for the chat. We have a lot of fun. I learn a lot.
I do. When I remember, I definitely do enjoy. I mean, it's where I get most of my gifts from. So, and some good suggestions for adult and non-adult beverages.
Oh, for sure. There's lots of different beverages that come out, and sometimes we have serious conversations. We did a conversation earlier this year around, I think it was actually on 9/11, where we talked about trauma. And, how do you deal with that in the office and help people through that? This next one's going to be a little bit more lighthearted with, what was good about 22? What are you looking forward to personally, professionally in 23? And
23, I'm looking forward to 23 because 22 was supposed to be our year, and here we are. Anywho.
It's ending on a great note.
Yes, it is. And especially because I am so excited about the whole month of Trap Chat Live. Wendy, so appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your time with us. We got you on the sweet potato side. We're not trying to get you divorced from pumpkin, but definitely need to at least be in a poly relationship.
Somebody send me a good recipe, because I have an excellent
if you make pumpkin pie, you can make sweet potato pie.
I'm sure I can. Yeah. I just need someone to give me a good recipe.
Okay. We'll look into it. Awesome. And then please come back next week, same time, 2:00 Eastern. I am continuing with my coworkers. I have the Baked HR team next Wednesday. Christina Minyard and Jasmine Wilkes, two of my favorite people. We're going to be talking about desserts, their reels. Like, if you guys aren't following them, please go follow Baked HR. Please also make sure that you tune in at 7 for the final HR Social Hour of the year, and then come back in January. So tune in there. Go hop on Twitter. Go follow Baked HR and come back on Wednesday. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Bye.